Well, welcome to the Pulse of Spokane. Kent Adams here. Hope you're having a good day. This year, 2021, as strange as last year was, we have more elections coming. Seems like that happens every August and every November, and that's going to happen in Spokane. Not as big of an election, if you will, as the president and Congress positions and Senate and so forth, but perhaps more important, and I'll tell you why. It's the old saying, politics is local. This is local. This will be our local year. We're going to talk with one of the candidates who's going to run for Spokane City Council after this.
When you donate to the Union Gospel Mission thrift stores, your items help change lives. The furniture your kids jumped on and fell off of. The clothes you really should get rid of, but still look fantastic in. That old lamp you've clung to for so long. Every donation stays 100% local and helps provide food, a safe and healing environment, and job training. Union Gospel Mission thrift stores. Donate your items and help real people find real change.
Well, welcome back. I've got a guest here who I just met today, but I know all about him because a friend of ours interned with Tyler LeMasters, right?
Masters.
Huh?
LeMasters.
LeMasters.
Yeah.
Okay. Why did I say McMasters?
It's all good. It's
Oh,
French.
It's
Yeah.
French. Okay. Back in D.C. and a couple other places, I'm talking about Jacob, our mutual friend, and we'll try not to tell too many stories today about Jacob because today it's about you, and the fact is, you've announced already. You had an event in Manitou Park to run for Spokane City Council this fall, and some people say, "Isn't that kind of early?" No, it's not early.
No.
If you're going to spend the time and get the word out and so forth.
No.
Tell me, Tyler, what made you decide that you wanted to jump into a local race like the city council?
Yeah, I mean, that's the question, isn't it?
It is.
Well, first off, I think you're right. I think people are a little fatigued on elections right now, and sometimes it feels like the national pulls away from the local, but
Yeah.
it's so important, right?
Yes,
I mean, most
it
of the
is.
decisions in our life happen right here locally.
They do.
With our schools and our roads and our housing and businesses,
Right.
homelessness, all those things happen here. But yeah, I think the reason why I felt called to run was one, because of people encouraging me to do so, but two, because
Your friends?
Friends,
Because
yeah.
sometimes they can call us to do things, wait.
I did real estate here in town.
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk about that, but basically, I feel like city council is just responding to problems that they created
Yes.
through their own bad policies at this
Yes.
point in time. I also think that there's not some type of malicious thing going on. I think that Spokane in general is a very compassionate place.
Yes.
I mean, we have the most compassionate people. It's the greatest community. But just because you're compassionate doesn't mean that it results in something good. And so I think that we need to bring in good economics with that compassion to have good results for the things that we'll probably talk about.
Absolutely. And,
Yeah.
and what you're really saying is sometimes things need to be run like a business, not just because, yes, we all want to help people.
Yeah.
Look at what we've gone through in 2020.
Yeah.
And look what Rick Clark did with the quarantine thing and helping local restaurants and so forth. He raised over $250,000 in a couple of months to help the restaurants and help people get fed and so forth, and a number of other issues. I don't want to just say it was Rick. This town, while we're a metropolitan area, is still a town.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to tell the story. I can get to anyone in town through at least one person. Couldn't do that in Los Angeles or Seattle. Not sure I'd want to, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people will step up to help each other.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a balance between just throwing money at it and making a difference.
Well, I'll tell you, I think the intentions are good.
Yes.
But I think what they intended to do hasn't happened. And so we only need to hold them accountable to
Results.
what they wanted to achieve.
Right.
And it's clear that they haven't achieved what they wanted to in housing.
Yes.
We're in a housing crisis.
Yes.
Home prices are up almost $100,000 on average.
Yeah.
We haven't achieved what we wanted to with homelessness. The homelessness issue has gotten worse. And not only that, but we haven't helped our homeless population.
Right.
When you see what you see downtown with people doing drugs on the streets,
Yeah.
I've actually seen people have sex on the streets.
Oh.
Things like this.
I think you
can't
get out. You must get out more than me.
Yeah. Well, I like going downtown. I love downtown.
Yeah, I love to.
I love
it
walking
too.
around and stuff. But yeah, when you see that, you can't tell me that their goals of helping the homeless population has been successful. And then with small business, they've had the hardest year out of everyone.
No kidding.
They've taken the brunt of the economic crisis,
Right.
not the health crisis, but the economic crisis.
Right.
And so we need to protect them going forward and make sure that we are not putting overly heavy regulations on them. We can't put unnecessary taxes on them. We need to protect our small business because their success is our success, right?
It is. It really is. And you look at, there is a wanting in the Spokane. The one thing I really learned is that tell this community about the local mom and pop shops that have opened. Tell them about the restaurants and so forth. And look at the response to, this is going to irritate Jacob, to Chick-fil-A. On Facebook, a lot of it was negative. No, I'm not going there. I'm going to the locally owned mom and pop store.
Mm-hmm.
And that told me so loud and clear that a lot of this community gets it, that they don't want that little shop Dolly's or somebody else's over here to go out of business.
Yeah.
They go there every Saturday with their spouse or whatever it may be.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone has been, you hear it a lot, especially on social media, people like shop locally, support local businesses. So the cry is pretty loud and clear that we need to protect these businesses.
Yes.
But it's also why we are, I'm going to be leading open Spokane restaurants, open Spokane businesses. And we want to get restaurants to 50% capacity,
Yes.
which is an extremely reasonable request. And like I'm saying, people want this. 75% of Americans are okay with 50% capacity in our restaurants.
Yes.
We know now the statistics because that's important, right? You want to make sure that you're taking the health crisis seriously.
Right.
But that means making sure that, COVID's not being transmitted in restaurants.
Right.
That's important, right?
Yeah.
We have to do that. But we have done that now. We have the statistics. 1% of COVID is being passed in restaurants. Higher numbers are getting passed now in home gatherings and houses.
Yeah.
So what you have here is the restaurants have these controlled environments with screens and the waiters wear masks. It's only 6 people to a table, but we're actually spreading COVID through this bad policy and at the same time killing our small business community.
Right.
121 businesses have already shut their doors in Spokane.
I
That's
had
crazy.
a month or two ago, I had Mark Starr on, who is the owner of David's Pizza downtown and so forth. And I said, what's it like? And at the time it was,
Oh, I love David's Pizza.
it was where you could go in and was 50%. So it must have been about 3 months ago or so.
Yeah.
Okay. And he said, Kent, all of our restaurants around town have never been more clean than they are now. Because I pretty much have the same number of staff trying to keep them employed and give them some hours. And so at any one time, only half of them maybe are working. The rest of them are cleaning the table again the third time that morning.
And business owners have stepped up
Yeah.
this last 9 months, 10
Yeah.
months now, I guess.
Yeah.
They've stepped up. I mean, so when I was in D.C., I handled policy for Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rogers.
Right.
And one of my policy areas was nonprofits, and one of them was small businesses.
Yes.
And with the small business, the owners, the number one thing that they said to me on the phone was, I have to take care of my employees. How am I going to do that? Because they have a responsibility. They feel a personal responsibility. They know their families. They know their kids. They know where the kids go to school. And they say, I know that Joe Schmo only lives month to month.
Yeah.
If I can't pay him his salary, and I cannot tell you how many business owners are going into debt right now out of their own pocket to keep, 5 of their employees going. That's what I'm talking about, compassionate.
Yeah.
Spokane is a compassionate
I've
place.
spoken to probably 25 or more local small businesses. Our focus here is small business and community. I mean, that's who we are as a station. And Tyler, I'll have to tell you, almost all of them, when I would go, how's business going?
Oh man.
The response would be, as they're gathering water in their eyes,
Yeah.
I may go bankrupt,
Yeah.
but I'm most worried about my employees. I've
Mhm.
got great employees. I know their kids' birthdays and
Yeah.
those kinds
Yeah.
of things. I don't know what we're going to do. I can
Yeah.
survive. I'll go through bankruptcy or whatever it takes.
Yeah.
But and so yeah, I will give them. I'll give all our local small businesses as much credit as they deserve. And I get tired, honestly. I've seen some of the big places, the national firms, can open up to anybody, and
Mhm.
yet our mom and pop shops are getting the brunt. Our mom and pop owners of duplexes and triplexes
Yeah.
are still trying to make their mortgage payments, that the rents cover and so forth, and that keeps getting pushed down the road. I'm tired of our governor who says, before the change in administration back there, we need more. Where are more vaccines and those kinds of things, only to learn that only 32% of what has been shipped to Washington has been distributed out into the communities. So that was a political act. I'm tired of the politics. This is about people surviving. What I'm seeing happen is kind of what you were mentioning too, and that is that there are two viruses. One is the medical one,
Yeah.
but there's also the unemployment, the depression, the mental illness, the suicides. That's all up.
Yeah.
And look at the kids, especially the junior high and high school kids. Socializing is so important for them and so
Yeah.
forth, and they're being denied that. I'm afraid of what kind of generation we're growing up if this continues much longer.
Yeah. Well, I think bottom line, I try not to spin my wheels too much. The bottom line is these restaurants are not going to spread COVID more. They're actually going to stop the spread of COVID
Yeah.
just because of the home gatherings. And so it just makes common sense. And I think everyone can get on board with that. And we don't need to make it a political thing because it's not political,
No.
actually. It's just
It's a health
community
issue.
stuff.
Yes.
It's just community stuff.
Yeah, it is.
And that's why 75%, they're supportive. 75%
And if you're in
of
that
Americans.
25%,
Yeah.
don't go out to a restaurant then.
Yeah.
Stay home, okay? And I know families, including my own, that are very vulnerable.
Mhm.
And so stay home. My wife barely goes out because she's so susceptible. And she knows she does the grocery shopping. I do it sometimes because she doesn't want to go out when there are big crowds and so forth.
Yeah.
We can make those decisions ourselves, and hold back and so forth. What does your wife say about your running for office? I always love to ask a candidate about their spouse, okay?
Okay. So my wife's name is Blakely.
Okay.
I met her in college.
Okay.
Yeah, Blakely is so supportive of me. It's been flattering and encouraging. I can't do anything without her, and so she needs to be 100% on board.
Good.
Yeah, I think she was actually a little more eager than I was because
Really?
I said, hey, babe, this is maybe something
Get
that
in
could
there and do
happen.
it. Yeah.
She goes, go.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's think about this for a second because this is a big decision.
Yeah.
But
It
yeah,
is a big
she was-
decision.
The thing is she's my number one soundboard.
Yeah.
We talk. It's your spouse, so you talk most openly with them.
Right.
They're the ones that have to endure your ranting.
Right.
And I've been ranting for years about how much I love Spokane.
So it's more,
Yeah.
okay, Tyler, dear, go do it. Quit talking about it. Go do it. Yeah,
definitely.
I love it. I love
Because
it.
I just, for years, before COVID, it was just all good stuff. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, I love Spokane so much. It's
Yeah.
the perfect city. We have to live here. This is where because she's not from here. And so
Okay.
I moved her up here. Yeah.
Okay.
Convinced her.
Yeah.
Pulled her away from California.
Where in California?
Dana Point area. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know the area. Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up in Southern California, the Pasadena area.
So she must love me because Dana Point's nice too.
Not bad. Not
Mhm.
bad. All right. So
Yeah.
reopen, getting our city, our community. Let's call it a community. Yeah, a city. You're running for city council, but
Yeah, let's just call it Open Spokane.
yeah.
We won't call it- there's
let's
another
open
organization
things.
for reopen.
What else? What else do you want to talk about in terms of what will be some of the other themes that you have as you get into this
Yeah.
campaign? Because you've got a while to go. You don't file until May, middle of May, I think it
Mhm.
is, and then so not a lot really happens until the end of June or 1st of July, and then
Yeah.
everything really ramps up at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're the only ones who have filed on the South Hill. And
Okay.
so right now, I'm the only one running.
Okay.
That's definitely going to change, right?
The,
I'm sure there'll be plenty of people who throw their
the
hat in the ring.
incumbent probably will run again, right?
Who?
Well,
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah, I think our focus is bringing a fundamentally different approach to how we address issues.
Right.
Right now, we're responding to problems.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really
Maybe we should
tempting.
be leading.
Yeah, it's tempting to respond to problems, and we like it because when you respond, you have something to point at, and you say, "Oh, look, we're doing something." But I think we need to start addressing problems before they happen.
Yeah.
This housing crisis,
Yes.
which is one of my 3 things.
We've known about it for a while.
Yes, I did real estate here in town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did real estate here in town, and I remember realtors from across all the brokerages
Yeah.
going to city officials and saying, we have a very low inventory. This is going to be a problem. It's a problem now. It's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And there was warnings.
Yeah.
Well, COVID has artificially inflated everything.
Right.
So anything that was really good has been decreased, but
Right.
anything that's bad is amplified, put on a
Yes,
magnifying glass.
absolutely.
And so what we've seen is, like I said, $100,000 increase in
Yeah.
home prices. That's just because of city council's decision to have really tight zoning restrictions.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, the
They
state
refuse-
hasn't helped either, and the state
No.
continues to.
There's a lot of things.
Right.
I mean, it's very complicated. I don't want to oversimplify
No.
it. There's also lumber prices that's raised the home prices up by about 15,000. There's also this new energy, we'll call it bill, that requires houses to be built with electric heating, which that raises prices 15,000. And so you go 15, 5, 10.
Yeah.
All of a sudden your house is up 60. But the real thing that's drove up is zoning restrictions.
Yeah.
City council refuses to allow developers to build in areas like downtown, where we should have higher density, we should have multi-use,
Right.
we should have, like, off of Sprague area, the Sprague initiative, we should have apartments down there, we should have restaurants, and
Yeah.
there's just empty lots, industrial, burnt out buildings, houses that are boarded up. These things need to be zoned differently so developers can come in and develop our community in a healthy way. I'm not talking about building on the South Hill or anything.
Right.
I'm just talking about where we can
Well,
do
you
it.
look at we had some building a contractor in last fall as part of another program, and
Yeah.
I happened to talk to him after the program, and I said, "How's it going?" He said, "Oh, I've got great sales. We're building them as fast as we can. However, since I sold it to them, and we'll finish up in the next 30 days." My lumber cost has gone up 15,000, and he named a couple other things. He said,
Yeah.
basically, I have no profit.
Yeah.
I've lost my profit.
Yeah.
I mean, where's the incentive except by contract to finish the project?
Yeah.
I mean,
And the thing is, though, is it's not about the developer specifically, because the intent is just to allow the market to meet the demand.
yeah,
And the city council thought they could do that with a heavy hand, that they could kind of control how things develop. And now we see this bleeding into our homeless problem, because now they're meeting it with these affordable housing projects downtown. And what's the goal of affordable housing? To help low-income people climb out of the depths of poverty.
Right.
We want, and I say everyone, we want low-income families, and we have a lot of them in Spokane.
yes,
We want low-income families to find the middle class, to close that
Yes.
gap. You hear it the same on the right and the left.
Yes.
Everybody is not comfortable with this gap that keeps getting wider and wide.
no,
But the thing is the tight regulations
yeah,
on zoning has actually caused the people who get hurt by this are only low-income families. It's only low-income families. It's people who are renting, who have families and are ready to start building
and
equity.
it's hard to find a place to rent. It's
Rental
hard
prices
hard to
are
buy a condo.
crazy. Rental
these
prices are
days.
crazy.
Yeah,
$800 is how much I paid for my apartment on 23rd and Grand for a 2-bedroom. It was amazing. Now they're going for about 13. That's a mortgage, or it was a mortgage back in the day. So the question is, if our intent is really to help these families get out of the lower class and to build equity, we have to allow them to have not
Access.
affordable, but attainable housing.
Yes,
Attainable housing.
Yes.
That's the only, because it's the number one way. Housing is the number one way that Americans build equity, build wealth.
Well, we're coming kind of to the end of the time because we know what happens. People drop off real quick.
Man, that was quick.
I know it does.
Okay, real quick.
Yes.
Your studio.
Yes.
You need to film a skateboarding show because the walls are curved.
Yeah. It's what they call a cyc wall, which means if you do things right, it looks like it could go on forever, and so forth. It was built.
I call it a quarter pipe.
Yeah, it was originally the Cox cable, and then now the Comcast. We're in the Comcast old studio that was done, and try to find another TV studio in town. There aren't any.
Yeah.
We happen to find one, so we're very pleased to be in here. But I've had some young people come in and say, "Okay, I'm bringing my skateboard the next time." The problem is, it's just a traditional wallboard. I think
it's not concrete.
I think if
okay.
you skated on it, we'd have to patch it. Okay. But,
let me make a plug real quick.
Yes.
If people want Spokane to be at 50% capacity with the restaurants, you can go to votetylerlemasters.com.
Okay.
Sign the petition.
Okay, great.
We need lots of people to support. Go sign the petition. It's super important.
Are you getting endorsements yet?
Yeah. We're getting endorsements.
Getting an endorsement? Do you want an endorsement right now?
Sure.
Okay, I'll endorse you for election this fall.
That means a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm always flattered when people say they support me. I'm like,
yeah. I know.
I'm like, really?
Yeah. Do you need to have your head examined?
You sure?
You know?
Yeah.
No, I'm pleased. As you know, coming in, and we talked about it before, I know a lot about you from Jacob, our mutual friend, and so forth. And I'm one of the people who have encouraged him to do what he's setting up to do right now, and that is to get some good people elected and so forth. And we just need, it's not against anybody, it's moving in the right direction. And you've got the talent and the expertise, and you've got a lot on your plate this year. A new house coming up. Okay. No kids yet, but you did admit you're working on it. Okay,
we're trying.
Okay, we're trying. All right, well that's good. That's good.
Which is fun.
Yeah, exactly. I see your face light up when you talk about it, so that's great.
No, we're really looking forward to having kids. Hopefully
well, the best to you, because we really need some. One of the things we need are some young, dynamic people that will step up too. And I think sometimes we get, and nothing wrong about middle-aged or older people. I'm the older people, but still we need to have smart young people step up and say, I want to give back to my community, because that's what we're going to ask you to do. Low pay and everything else that comes with it, and a lot more hours than you'll ever be paid for, and a lot of headaches and so forth. But someone's got to step up to do it, and thank you.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on the show. It's great.
Okay. Again, how can they find you?
VoteTylerLeMasters.com.
Okay.
Or Tyler Stephen LeMasters on Facebook.
Okay. All right. Great.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
And thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.
The economy is getting stronger. Banks are lending again, and interest rates are at historic lows. Now is a great time to buy your dream home. The caring and knowledgeable professionals at Homes for You have been helping people just like you for over 20 years. They take the time to listen to what you want and will help you find just the right home in Washington or Idaho. Real estate is what we do at Homes for You, 928-5782, or visit online at homes4uspokane.com.
This is River Ridge Frame Shop, called Frame It Today, where we can take your art, customize it, and get it ready to hang on the wall. Here at River Ridge Hardware, 2803 West Garland.
Weather in the inland Northwest can wear you down. And if your gutters are in poor condition or you do not have gutters, you could suffer damage that could cost a fortune to fix. Rainman Seamless Rain Gutters has almost 30 years of professional experience in serving the inland Northwest region and strives to ensure customer service that is second to none, from the time you call to the end of the project.
Thanks for watching this episode of The Pulse. We are where you are. Check us out on any of these other platforms as well as our website. This show is sponsored by Local 29 Firefighters Union, Homes for You, and Apex Cannabis.